First of all, refraining from haram is a psychological approach. The biggest problem we have in our society today, especially in the West, is the notion of marriage. The dating game is so popular in the Western society and also the East now, that the thought of marriage is the last thing on your mind because the fun factor goes out. If I see a girl who says, I'm going to marry her, it's boring because then she's mine forever and I can't get rid of her. I want variety, you know. Let's play around and maybe we'll decide. 20 years we'll stay together and we'll decide. Maybe you're worth it. When my hair starts falling apart and I got nobody looking at me, maybe I'll think about you. This notion of fun is where the problem starts. So many times I see teenagers. I remember I met a boy, he says, oh, the brother says, he's in love. His brother's in love. I said, you're in love, eh? He says, yeah, I'm in love. I said, so how is she? He says, oh, I'm in love. He's looking up, you can tell, he's blushing. I said, so when's the wedding? Excuse me? Wedding? Are you nuts? You just killed my fantasy. Wedding? Gonna get married? And he looked at me with repulse. Excuse me? Never even thought of that. I said, oh, so you're just going to mess with her? Look how I'm doing it. I'm attacking psychologically with a smile. Oh, so you're just going to mess with it like, a cheap carpet. And then once it's all dirty, you just get rid of it, get another one, right? Is that how it works? He said, well, I never thought of it that way. I don't know. I said, if you have no idea that you're ever going to marry this girl, what do you think you're going to do? Well, you think one day you'll just get enlightened one morning, you'll wake up and say, I want to marry you now. No, that's not how it works. I have a friend of mine, my roommate, his brother, stayed with the girl for 10 years. 10 years, they lived together, boyfriend, girlfriend. After 10 years, they decided, okay, I think we're made for each other. It took you 10 years to figure out? MashaAllah. Guess what? Within 6 months, they got divorced. So I asked the boy, I said, you divorced her after 10 years you couldn't figure it out? He says, it's different. Before the contract, it's different. She's no longer mine. So we're all on the edge of the thread. It's exciting. Once you sign the contract, she's yours. You can't get rid of her. She's boring. I said, wow. 10 years you couldn't figure that out? He says, yeah, then our expectations got out of whack. I said, that's the proof. You don't need to date. Proof. People say, how will I know this girl? Spend time with her 100 years, you won't know her. Because it's a very different attitude when you get into a contract versus no contract. It's not only marriage. Let's talk about practical reasons. Imagine my brother and I go into business. I said, MashaAllah, Brother Rakshandar, you are a great guy. MashaAllah, Subhanallah, you're great. You already married? No, I'm not going to talk about marriage. I'm going to give you a different contract. So he said, I'm already married. I like the way you say that. He's like saying, I'm already married. SubhanAllah, so great. I'm already married. So I'm going to go into business with him. Brother Rakshandar is a great guy. So, he says, Brother Hassanain, you speak. You're such a good guy, MashaAllah, inshallah. Brother, I got this great idea. How about you put $10,000? I put $10,000. We got this great idea. We'll make millions. Rakshandar says, oh, sure. I said, inshallah. You put 10, I put 10. Inshallah. 50-50. Inshallah. So I put 10, he puts 10. Then we start making a lot of money. I start getting amnesia. Did I tell him 50-50 or was it 60-40? I don't remember now. I believe it was 60, maybe 70-30 because I remember I came up with the idea. Rakshandar says, no, 50-50. No, brother, I think you're getting too old. That's your problem. You're not thinking right. And by the way, I'm the one who came up with the idea. Remember, I told you what is going to happen. You and I are going to shred each other. The best friends. Suddenly we get, reverse it. We start losing money. He says, brother, what kind of crazy idea was that? I lost my $10,000. All my life savings is gone because of you. What happened? No contract. Inshallah business. There you go. But notice, the minute you get into contract, we sign it. 50-50. Do or die. Make money, 50-50. Lose money, 50-50. Do you agree? Put it in writing. It's a different attitude. I cannot cheat you. You can't cheat me. That is marriage. The same attitude, marriage is a contract. When you get into a contract, you can't mess. It's so simple. People say, the girl says, zawajtuka nafsi ala al-mahri al-ma'loom. That's it? Yeah. It's even shorter for the boy. Qabiltu. Come on. Not hitherto, notwithstanding, hereforth, henceforth, let it be known, all the legal jargon. Just, qabiltu? That's it? I said, yeah, qabiltu. So simple. I said, don't worry, you'll sweat for the rest of your life. Because this qabiltu is going to put you in a whole different sphere. Oh, Allah says, that's all I need. You agree with the contract? So the problem with our brothers and sisters is our society today does not think that way. I tell our teenagers, even 10, 12-year-olds, I said, don't mess. I want you to think 10 years from now. I can see you as a professional. I can see you elegant. I can see you representing. I said, don't make mistakes, because tomorrow when you become good, people will not forget the mistakes you make. So prevent now. Don't let others find a weak point in you. Because if they do, no matter how elegant you are, no matter how truthful you are, they'll always pull the carpet from under you. Don't do that. A child starts thinking. I said, tomorrow my dream is for you to have the father come with his daughter and says, this is my daughter. I would be honored if you will marry my daughter. You don't have to go begging at her doorstep. And the same for the girl, where the father and the mother of the boy comes and says, I want my son to marry your daughter. What's the value there? It's priceless. Today, the dating game destroys the community. What happens? You got a black book. A boy calls me once. He says, I found this perfect girl. Pious, religious, muhajjaba. I can see her as the mother of my children. Why? Because Imam Jafar Sadiq ﷺ was asked this question. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He said, how do I choose my spouse? He said, see her as the mother of your children. If she qualifies, marry her. Girl, he says, for the girl, see him as the father of your children. If he qualifies, marry him, because he's got the qualities. So that's the choice. See, father or the mother of the child, right? So you examine the value of that individual on the basis of merit. So when a child understands that, this boy calls me and says, well, this girl wants to marry me. She's all for me. But I haven't told her that I've had many affairs with other girls. Now he's writing this to me. He says, if I tell her, I will probably lose her. If I don't tell her, I will get her. But what if she finds out tomorrow? And it's going to happen. So I say to the boys and the girls too, stop the dating game. Can you imagine you go to the mall, you have your kids, your wife, and then this girl comes, brother, assalamu alaikum, how are you? The wife says, who is he? Or who is she? No, she seemed to have a bit of a sparkle in her eyes when she said that, huh? Oh, it was my previous life, my reincarnation life. Notice the wife says, oh, so you had something there, did you? Or the boy says, who's that boy? It's okay, it was just a friend. Yeah? He seems to be a pretty close friend. It's okay, don't worry about it. You think your spouse will ever trust you? Forget it. If the trust factor is gone, you're finished. So look at what we're walking. We're walking a tightrope. A slip is exactly what Shaitan wants us. He wants us damaged goods. Because when we become damaged goods, we only get damaged goods. Khabithatun, khabitha. Bad for bad, good for good. Why? Because the minute you marry the bad, your generation will be bad. It's exactly what Shaitan wants. So I say to our brothers and sisters, it's a short time. You're a teenager, it's very short. They say, but I can't control myself. I say, if you circle yourself around good friends, this distraction will go away. I remember growing up, I didn't have this problem. Although a couple of times I was pulled. As a child, you fall in love with somebody. This childish baby love. You see this girl, that's all you're thinking. You start losing weight. You start thinking, she loves me, she doesn't love me. I don't know, maybe my nose is not right. Maybe my ears are... Every possible scenario. You go shopping, says, I wonder if she'll like this shirt. She doesn't exist. Yeah, but when she walked, she smiled at me. Yeah, she was smiling at somebody behind you. Right? Don't get caught in that. If you get caught, what happens is you go through permutations. The minute you have no contract, it becomes play. Play becomes a joke. Because what happens is when girls and boys initially start dating, they're very sincere, full of ikhlas. And they start expressing, oh, I like you, I love you. 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds. And today with online, with Facebook, it's constant. Click here if you love me. Click here if you think I'm cute. A brother sends, he doesn't realize I have access to his Facebook because, Facebook is pervasive. It's like a tree. Even if your 10th friend has a connection with you, you're going to see it. So this brother comes to our camp and says, click if you think I'm cute. So I click on it and says, yeah, I think you're cute. Brother Hassanain, oh my God. I said, yeah, you thought we're not watching, huh? I said, big brother is watching. Back off. Oh, I'm sorry. So what's the matter with you? Why, you're so depressed that you need to be cute? Whoever said who's not cute? Show me a person who's not cute. Show me a person who's not beautiful. I'd like to see that. A person who's not. Please show me that, please. Guy has no eyes, still beautiful. Who? Tell me who. A person has no legs, still beautiful. Quadriplegic, still beautiful. Who's ugly? So this idea is an insecurity in our children. What happens is they get indulgent. So now they express with the purity, I love you. The other person says, yeah, I love you too. But that person, when they replied, I love you, they had 4 screens open. They cut and paste, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. So the person receiving it says, oh, this person's mine. Then later on you find out, first of all, it wasn't even a young person, it was an older person. God forbid whatever happens there. And then you find out you're not the only love. You get shattered. Oh, how dare you do that? You stop eating. You're suicidal. You want to kill yourself. You wish you didn't exist. I see kids. Oh, brother, I wish I didn't exist. What's wrong with you? Oh, somebody dropped me, dumped me. I said, good for you. Why'd you mess around in that? It's like you're playing with a jinn now. You're playing with a jinn now, pay the price. So what happens? The child gets hurt, so they start again. The fantasy starts again. So again, they go after a person. Now they're a little more reserved, so they wait. And the second one tricks them even longer. Then again, oh, I love you. Then again, you're hurt. By the 5th, 6th time, you're so scarred, you don't trust anyone. What do? You reverse the engine now. I've been abused. Time to abuse. So now you go online, and there's another innocent person saying, I love you. You're cutting and pasting, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because you don't know who's now there. Because I've been abused, I'm not going to get abused anymore. By the time you're ready to settle when you're in your 20s, you have been so scarred that the day you want to get married, honey, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. I've got a 20,000 list item. If you do not fulfill any of this, get out of my house. What happened to you? Well, I've been hurt so much, I don't trust anybody. There you go. That's the scar. So please, this is a long-winded answer I'm giving, but please avoid it. There's been studies. University of Georgia did a study that there's a direct correlation to tweens. You know what a tween is? It's a preteen. Tweens dating, who start dating at an early age, tend to perform very low in their grades, okay, when they start dating early. Because typically, children who date early are from fragmented families. Because children at that age, parents don't allow them to date. They're very focused on education and so on. Usually they are deprived of love. So they're looking for love in this relationship. Now imagine this is a 6th grader, 11-year-old, 5th grader dating. And they've done studies, 25-year study, that those children who started dating early perform very low on academic standards and usually have very low-level jobs. Children who avoided dating early had the best job opportunities, the best grades. So look, there's a direct correlation in science to show too. So this argument, if you and I understand this, so when you ask, how do I refrain? It's not mechanical, haram, haram, haram. Understand the consequences, it becomes naturally haram. Because look, it's very simple. If there's a ditch here, and there are crocodiles and sharks down there, and it's stinking and it's really dangerous, there is no way in a billion years I'm going to jump. Because I see it. But if it's rosy and it looks very comfortable, and you tell me haram, 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 I say, why haram? It looks beautiful. Let me jump in there. If you know how the sickness is, you will understand. So I talk to kids that way. I say, when you go to university, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. High school, this is what's happening. They say, brother, how do you know all this? I said, look, I've been watching this for years, decades. I watch the movement. When a child shakes my hand in class, I read their face. I can say, I know what's going on with this kid. Because I've been there. Understand. I read faces. I don't pass judgment. But when I look at them, I say, God, I wish I could reach the heart of this child and show him something to stop him from ever doing that. Because if I can stop him just for a few years, he will be shining like gold. This is what we did in New York. We stopped. There was a boy, for example, he says, I'm dating a girl. My student. Now he's checking me. I'm his teacher. He respects me a lot. So I'm in the car driving him home. He says, brother, just want to let you know that I'm going on this date with this girl, 16-year-old boy. He says, what do you think? I said, no problem. Let's go on a blind date together. Blind date. I said, yeah, you go on a date, right? I think I should join you. I didn't say I will join. I said, we'll get you a blind date. She said, with who? She said, well, you have a sister too. Maybe you can ask her to come too. He stopped. He looked at me and says, what? My sister? I said, yeah. Well, you're having fun with somebody else's sister. Why shouldn't your sister have fun too? He says, I'll kill him. I'll kill him. I said, oh, really? You'll kill somebody who messes with your sister, but it's okay for you to mess with somebody else's sister. I don't get this logic. I said, why would you kill him? He says, my sister is sacred. I said, why? She's a human being. She's got 2 legs, got a head, got eyes. Yeah, but she's, sacred, noble. I said, brother, what are you doing? You're doing the same thing. You make up your mind. That's the tragedy in a society where you let go of these morals and say, dad is busy, mom is busy dating, brother is busy at home. Dad says, did you get a girlfriend today? Wow, congratulations, that's his girlfriend. This is his boyfriend, this is her boyfriend, this is his boyfriend. Today, we got that too. We say, we're proud, oh, my son has a boyfriend. I'm so happy, he's such a successful child. He knows how to love. I said, oh, really? So what happened to your moral standards? Went out the window. Who cares? Let's just all be impulsive, compulsive, who knows? That's a problem. It destroys the fabric of humanity. So this brother called me that same evening, the next day actually, not the same evening, next day, he said, just to let you know, I called it off. I didn't go on the date. I said, bravo. I didn't force you. I just cornered you. He says, I agree. 6 years later, 22, his marriage took place. He hugged me and started to cry. For almost 30, 40 seconds, he's just crying on my shoulders. This is his wedding night. I said, why are you crying? He said, you saved me. 6 years ago, God knows what I would have done with that girl. Today, I'm marrying a decent girl. You saved me. I said, no, I didn't save you. You saved yourself. I suggested to you. You followed it. Bravo. Allah will reward you for that. Today, he's married. He's got 4 children. Honorable person, earning a living, dignified. No idea of dating girls anymore. His mind is gone. He says, I passed that stage. All we need to do is prepare and do what we call damage control mechanisms to guide them, show them. I remember one boy called me, Amitabh Bachchan, you've heard of Amitabh Bachchan, right? You know who was Amitabh Bachchan, right? I mean, he's the famous actor. His daughter was going to Boston University. True. In fact, I used to see Amitabh Bachchan on the highway because I live in Westchester. He used to live in Connecticut, and he would drive down to the city. He had a 2-seater Mercedes. I used to see Amitabh B. And I used to see him driving it. Yes, I would see him on the highway. So I knew he was living in that region. Although he lives in India, it's all over. But he has a house in north from my house. So his daughter was going to Boston University. This is one of my students. I said, when you go to university, girls will come to you openly. They'll offer you. Watch out. It's a trap. Subhanallah. He's on the street. She's in a BMW. She stops, honks at him, says, hey, how about, you're cute. He starts laughing. He says, who are you? He says, I'm Amitabh Bachchan's daughter. He calls me. He says, brother, unbelievable. Can you imagine the daughter of Amitabh Bachchan is asking me to go out on a date? I said, I told you. I warned you. Look, when Shaitan sends his agents, he sends big ones too. He says, thank God. I said, of course not. Don't get involved. This is a foolish. He said, I looked at her and I was laughing. Now, why would you look at it? Why did you get all starry-eyed and say, wow, celebrity's daughter, she's nice, she's rich? Because he was already warned. Often we don't warn our children. We don't tell them these events. So they're not ready. They're impulsive. But if you warn them, you say, it's okay, go ahead and date. This is what's going to happen. And if a child believes in you, he knows. When the girl comes, he says, I know the consequence. I'm not going there. Now that is how you refrain. Otherwise, there's no other way. People say, make salah, fast. Those are good, but it's very hard to fast and make salah when the only thing you can think of is the girl.